birds.
My story is really unplugging it.
Sometimes, like when I'm watching it for my class, like it's my projector's like I'm like, oh yeah.
No. Of course you were. Of course you were. You probably did a job. What a time it is. Hey kids, we'll convert the birds to mountains in Switzerland. We'll do the sound of music. Sound of music. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started because I have a few things to say and give away and all the fun things before Jane hops up here. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who has shown up today and supported year 13 of the Oxford Fiber Arts Festival. That was my best New Orleans woo, by the way. I've been practicing. So this is year 13. We are very, very excited. We have started some new projects. We had our 2 online hybrid Scottish tartan historical identification and creation projects. Those were on Wednesday and Thursday. Special thanks to the Public Library and the University Museum for letting me show up and have those talks and for providing lunch. That was incredibly gracious of them. I want a special thanks to for Mississippi Arts Commission. If you are so inclined, please email your senators and your House of Representatives and tell them how important the arts are, especially in Mississippi, because they always support us through the pandemic and even this year and beyond. They are always, always, always happy to help and make sure that we are able to do this every year. The same goes from Visit Mississippi and Visit Oxford. They are the people who actually helped bring Jane in today and are putting her up at the Graduate.
It's so nice.
It's so nice. So make sure that if you see anyone from Visit Oxford, or if you have a second to like or follow Visit Mississippi, that you do so, and make sure you tell them that I sent you and I was very kind and I used all of their money very wisely. And who else do I need to thank? The Arts Council, Yoknapatawpha Arts Council, who lets us use the powerhouse, and sweet Caitlin, who is the person that has done all registration. Without her, I would not physically be standing here because she is the unsung hero of anything that happens here in Oxford. Caitlin, oh my goodness, what a blessing to have you, and I just want to make sure everyone sees me thank her because she deserves it. She's the best, absolutely. So I do have some fun prizes to give away. That's always a good time. Here we go. First off are these. I personally caught them myself from Endowment last year for the first person who can tell me where our featured speaker tonight is from.
New Orleans.
Yes! Right here. New Orleans beads and cups from Endowment. I had to work hard for those. I brought my 7-year-old. You can say it. I don't mind. I am going to point out to everyone Miss Jennifer Miller of Theodore's Pearls. She is here all the way from Colorado. I believe she's our farthest away vendor. Yes, ma'am?
Not vendor.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. She's our farthest away vendor. She almost got snowed in, but she was like, you know what, snow? No, thanks. I'm going to Oxford. And so I have one of her skeins. This is her specific to Oxford fiber colorway. It's called Ole Miss Fizzy. Ole Miss Fizzy. Fibby is a different one. And it is on her, it's not just bamboo. It's bamboo and what?
It's bamboo.
It's all bamboo? Okay. This is why she sells it, not me. And I don't know, who is our farthest away vendor? Where are you from?
I'm not vendor.
I'm sorry, farthest away, attendee. Attendee, where are you from?
Liz.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island?
Syracuse, New York.
I think Syracuse, isn't that farther?
No.
No, Rhode Island is farther.
Yes.
Those New England states, I don't know where they are.
They are those.
Yes.
They're like, is that a different time zone? I think Rhode Island is farther. So you get this one from Theodore's Pearls.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. I got some more. This is my runner-up skein for being my second runner-up from far away. Because I'm just making this up as I go, guys. Gotta be honest. I have no plan. That's how this Fiber Festival runs, on pure spirit. This is from Mace of Skeins last year. It's the yarn that I'm wearing now. This is her parade colorway. It is exclusive to us. You can only get it from me. And because there's only 3 more skeins left in the world, you can literally only get it from me. And so this goes to you. Oh. I'm very good at throwing things. And then I have 3 of these. I'm going to make up how to give those away. This is from Bow Ridge. They were very, very excited to sponsor, but they were kind of late to the game. So instead of funding, they gave me coffee and coffee cups and a notebook to give away. So I want to know, what time do we open tomorrow?
9
yeah,
o'clock.
right. What time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. This one's for you. You're good. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I've got a good one. Okay. This is for people who read their magazine carefully. How many vendors do we have this year? The most ever. Robert.
28.
No, lower.
23.
No, higher.
25.
What is it?
23.
No, higher.
25.
25. 25 vendors this year. Oh, I've got one.
No idea.
Here we go. This is from one of our vendors. What letter of the alphabet best represents and is correlated with the fold-out cat? This is a tricky one. Yeah.
Q.
Yeah. You get your own art pad. Well, you know, on my Q theme, there's your hint. On my Q theme, this gift, this is dyed specifically for them sock yarn from a very nice yarn shop in New Orleans. They also sell needlepoint. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yep. Absolutely, it's all yours. All right, and then I have one more announcement, and we'll let Jane talk, but it has to go with this leading into quarter stitch. I got there eventually. Here we go. The Oxford Fiber Festival is growing because of people who participate like you. This next year, we are very excited to launch our own mothership called All Y'all Fiber. It will host not only the Oxford Fiber Festival, but a second festival that I have been invited to curate for another state. It will host our sew community, which offers sewing machines and lessons for those in Lafayette County and beyond. We offer free sewing machines. If you want to take a lesson, you want to learn, you want to try something out, you can borrow one of mine. Same goes with sergers. We are launching our own printed fabric line on spoonflower.com. We are very excited to offer that. We have a whole lineup of things, including our new field trip program, which will launch in May. We currently only have 8 slots for that program, but we will go together as a team. That's the best word I got right now. As a team, we will leave from Oxford. We will catch the train down to New Orleans, where we will spend 2 nights hanging out and touring all of the fiber shops, and then we will train back. We are very, very excited to offer these different type of field trip opportunities. We are organizing one for Arella Farms. You guys met them earlier today. We're looking at planning one to Chicago. We are very excited to fiber together, hang out, and do fun stuff at different places all over the country. So we are very, very, very excited to grow into this All Y'all Fiber. You've seen the alligator, right? Our new logo. Alligator, all y'all. See what I did there? But it is because we chose the alligator because everyone is welcome here at Oxford Fiber Festival. We try to be as inclusive as possible. You do not have to be cute and furry to participate. You can be. I mean, I'm not against it. But anyone is welcome here. Fiber art is changing. We are growing. We are trying to be more inclusive as a community and as an art form. And so I am very, very, very grateful to introduce Jane Tardo, who is going to talk about just that And then afterward, her haunted hearse will be open outside, but I'm going to let her talk more about that. So please help me welcome Jane.
Hey everybody. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Great, let me just have a sip. Great. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm really happy to be here at Oxford Fiber Festival. Thank you, Stacy, and the state of Mississippi for paying me to be here today. It's been really great so far. I've really enjoyed walking around earlier and getting to meet some of the vendors, seeing your beautiful yarns, your fibers, your dye techniques. Thank you for teaching me some new terms too. I'm a term collector. I love learning about all the vocabulary and ways that we talk about fiber arts. That's my nerddom. Also, thank you to Benjamin, the cutie in the hat back there. That's my partner. He brought me here and he helps me set up, and he also brought in a king cake for us.
Yes.
At the top. Yeah. All right, so a little bit about me. I'm a fiber and mixed media artist, born and raised and currently based in New Orleans. I did my undergrad in international studies. After that, I taught English overseas for about 8 years until my father needed end-of-life care, and so I moved back home to take care of him. After he passed, I went back to school to study what I always wanted to study, art. Art was always a part of my life, but I never really allowed myself to explore it as a career possibility. I grew up crocheting with my grandmother, needle pointing with my mother, also sewing and garment making with my mom's mom, my other grandmother. So it's always been something I'm very interested in, but it wasn't until I went to grad school in 2017 to start studying sculpture that I started sewing a lot. And that's funny because the sculpture professor left and then I didn't have anybody to study with, and I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So I picked up the sewing machine and started sewing and started working in the world of fiber arts. Currently, I'm an instructor of sculpture at the University of New Orleans, and then I also teach at Rick Rack NOLA. Anybody been there? When you go to New Orleans on the train, you absolutely must stop at Rick Rack NOLA. It's a community sewing and textile recycling center in New Orleans. So they get all of these costumes and materials from Hollywood, and they sell them at really good prices to the community, and then they use the proceeds to pay teachers like me to teach kids how to sew. It's a really wonderful place. It's like this beautiful goblin kingdom. It's like floor to ceiling, amazing fabrics and costumes and shiny things. You'll love it. So I work in a lot of different fiber techniques. I do a lot of quilting, specifically applique style quilting, textile collage. I crochet. I make freestanding lace, that's of those clocks. It's a lace making technique. I make soft sculpture out of repurposed dance costumes that I found in my attic after my dad passed. There was all of these costumes, and I opened the box and it flooded all of these memories about how uncomfortable of a child I was in these sexy dance costumes and they shimmy on stage. So I took each one of them apart, stitch by stitch, and then created these really moody, grotesque, protruding, occluding things that reminded me of how uncomfortable I felt doing this as a child. And then I also make fake products that you can't really see on the projection, but this is called Poly Pumice. It's a DIY genital exfoliator kit. So it's made out of pumice in the middle, and it's soft sculpture all around with embroidery on the side of instructions, how to use, what it's about. And then I save all of my scraps. Who saves everything? Yeah, I don't know why, but I do save all of my scraps, and then that piece all the way on the side is something that I've made with all of my scraps, combining them together, ironing them, sealing them, and then creating a really large scale work. I call that my soft Pollock, after Jason Pollock. So currently, this is my work that I'm most known for. These are art quilts. They feature human bodies with cat heads in these utopic, perfect scenarios of companionship and love, and the weather's perfect, there's no biting bugs. I use textile collage and free motion quilting to make these works from quilting cotton. The fabrics come from dozens of different quilting cottons. I have probably seen at this point every quilting cotton that has been made in the past 10 years. And so now I kind of know what's out there, what I can find. And when I find it, I buy it, because if you don't, you'll never see it again. So I have a big tote that's organized by categories. So we have bugs in one bag, we have flowers in another bag, cats in this bag, and that's how I store my stash. Currently, you can see this work at Lemieux Galleries in New Orleans. They have most of my commercial inventory. And then occasionally they will also be at Civil Gallery, also in New Orleans. Another part of my practice is making these interactive, immersive experiences that are combining fiber arts and technology that are intended for cell phones. So this one right here is Snake Tube Adventure Racing. It's the world's first fully quilted analog VR RC two-car adventure racetrack. So how it works is you get to pick out one of the stuffed snakes that I make, put it inside of your tube car. We then connect your phone to the car where you can record or live stream or FaceTime with a friend, and then you get to race around my racetrack with up to 3 or 4 other players. This can currently be seen at the University of West Florida in Pensacola. There's also 2 other fiber artists that are in this show. Basco BIM. They make these very large-scale, super detailed masks that you see, and each mask has a story that goes along with it. And then also Jacob Reptile. He's a fiber sculptor, and he makes stuffed plants and flowers. It's a really beautiful show. If you have a chance to get to Pensacola, it will be there until March 2nd. And then today, what I have brought for you is my haunted hearse. The haunted hearse is a complete production art car featuring dynamic lighting design, which you'll get to see after the talk today. During the day, you can't really see the lights. So we thought we'd open up for you real quick tonight so you can take a peek. It's got lighting design. All of the scenic design is textile based in my quilting technique that I love so much. I have a cast of spooky monsters in there that are all been crocheted. And it even has a groovy theme song and a souvenir shop where you can buy all of the things that I make myself in my studio. This miniature marvel aims to present the childlike spirit and love of Halloween without any of the scariness. So there's no jump scares, flashing lights, smoke, anything too terrifying. I really just wanted to make a magical haunted house experience without the trauma that tends to go along with them. Okay, on to my talk. You ever feel like this? Alright, I'll talk now about what academically interests me in fiber art, and that's how we talk about it. I was attracted to this topic in grad school. In my program, there was about 3 of us that were working in fiber techniques, and our professors had no idea how to talk about it. And when you're in a professional setting and you're trying to talk about art academically and professionally, and somebody's complimenting you on your macrame, ouch, right? It's not macrame, it's crochet, or this is knitting, or this is not this is that. And I was really surprised just the basic knowledge that was lacking in talking about this art form that's been around as long as humankind has been around. And a lot of that is a gender issue, it's a class issue, it's a lack of institutional backing and eyes. And so when people ask me the difference between arts and crafts, that's my answer. It's a gender issue, it's a class issue, and it's institutional backing and eyes, and that's the difference, in my opinion. That's what it is. So sometimes when we're trying to define what fiber arts is, you look like this guy. And I think a reason why is because of the challenge of the language involved in the materials, how the materials are made, where they come from, the techniques that we use, and the tools that we're using to create our art. Defining fiber art is the challenge of discussing fiber art. One struggles with describing both how it's made and what it's made out of. So that's a description challenge with the materials. And we struggle with the terminology. How's it made and what are the techniques that we are using? So I nerded out on this pretty hard. I found this book, or this article by Lois L. Lewin, and it had probably about 45 pages of all of these words. And each one of these words, this is just a culling that I did because I could fit it on the slide. All of these words have something to do with fiber arts and how the art world is categorizing fiber arts in the databases. So, you know, a painter, you could say it's acrylic on canvas or it's oil on panel. But fiber arts, it's like, it's yarn. Okay, but what type of yarn? It's yarn, but how is it spun? It's yarn, but what else is in there? And what are the tools that were used to make it? And then what is it being stuffed with? What is the armature? It gets really complicated to start to describe fiber arts in the fine arts world. And maybe that's something that scares a lot of people away from fiber arts, is just this lack of vocabulary. So I thought I'd get a handle on it by making a visual. This is my fiber arts tree. I don't know if it makes any more sense than this, but it's a little bit of improvement. So here's my tree where I attempt to categorize the methods, terms, and tools that we use in fiber arts. In this talk, I'll take you through the most important ones that I think are the most popular ones currently. It's a talk that's a little bit about history. It's a little bit about the techniques, about the tools. I'll discuss some things that are often confused in the fine arts world. I think as professional fiber workers here, maybe you're way ahead and you might be more advanced in some of these slides. And so please let me know after the talk if you have more to contribute to what I'm talking about here. I'd love to hear about it. So my tree, I think it starts at the roots. Is it a 2D object? Is it something that's meant for the wall or the floor? Or is it a 3D object? Is it maybe something you're wearing? Or is it a soft sculptural object? And then at the base of the tree, we have our 3 things that are materials, so plant-based, animal-based, or plastic, chemical-based. And then all the way up to the trunk, we have all of our different tools and things that we're using in our art forms. So we have glues, waxes, dyes, interfacing, stabilizers, machines of all sorts, scissors. How many types of scissors are there? Is there anybody who has any idea? How many types of scissors? Lots, yeah. Needles, lots of different types of those. Hooks, so many different types of those. And hoops. And then on the branches, I have the different broad categories that we can classify these things in. We have felting, which is the oldest, so it's at the bottom. After felting, we have spinning. Spinning led to the thread arts. And then weaving came around, and then soft sculpture. And then wearables and installation art started to have